Welcome, Cancer and Cancer Cross Watchers, to your love reading for this month. So we have the overall energy here, or sorry, the situation is the Ace of Pentacles with the Seven of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So, Cancer, it definitely feels like someone's making an offer here, but we're gonna get into what each of you is thinking, feeling, and then your actions or intentions towards each other in the situation. So we'll start with your person here, Cancer. For those of you that are new, welcome. Lots of pentacles here. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. Thanks for coming back here. Cancer. Six of Cups. Somebody really wants a fresh start. It's almost like they seem to be wanting to wipe the slate clean. Wow. But they're being kind of strange about it. What? It's almost like they have all these great intentions and there's like all this newness and this let's do this and let's do that. And then when it comes down to actually doing it, it almost like it feels like they may come across as somebody that acts like they're better than other people. It's strange because it's almost like it's not necessarily that they're a jerk on purpose. It just feels like it's almost like they know that what they have other people can't take. I can't quite put my finger on it. Sorry, guys. 1 second. It's like they're proud of everything that they've had to work for, but they're angry that they've had to work so bloody hard for it. It's that type of an energy. And what's okay. So this person's like, oh, I want to wipe the slate clean, but they're kind of slow and moving, and you're over here like, let's get this show on the road. You may have been in some ways, whoa, sorry, anticipating this. So you have the Knight and the King of Swords both on your end here, right? So I feel like in some ways you are anticipating this, but like if this person has come in with BS before, and maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but I'm just getting this energy of like, don't even, you Cancer looking at this person and the whole situation being like, don't even try me. It feels like two people who are very like intelligently connected. That's not a good sentence. Very like cerebral, two very intelligent people, but in very different ways. And I feel like, Cancer, you might not want to hear this. I feel like both of you kind of underestimate the other person. It's like, you both are able to get to the same place, but you do it in very different ways. It's almost like, for example, maybe one of you is very good about like being diligent and very good at the detailed work, and there's something very consistent about that person that it's almost like the tortoise and the hare, but they get there at the same time. It seems that you seem to have a much easier time getting, like you're kind of the hare. You don't have to put in as much work as other people. I feel like this person is scared that that means that you're going to take them for granted because they have to work so hard. Or it's almost like if there are things, listen, it doesn't mean that you don't work hard or that you haven't had to work hard for things that you have, okay? It just feels like if you're one of those really bright people that you're able to almost like see, it's like someone could present you with a situation and you look at it and you can see 40 different ways to do it. and then you get there because you can find the easiest way or the path of least resistance to where you want to go. Whereas this person, it's like they just do like tried and true all the time. Um, I feel like part of the connection here, you might feel like this person might, you're both a little defensive, actually. It feels like you're looking at them, wondering if they'll take away some of your creativity, or at least if they'll try to. And I feel like when I say that, there's this thing in you that's like, a no. More like, even if this person tried, that's like, that's not something that you would be letting happen. And that's not at all the message. It just feels like you may be concerned. You may be, it's almost like if, for example, you do find kind of unusual ways to do things that makes them easier, that may not have been very appreciated in the past or like in your family of origin. Sorry, I'm just grabbing some hand cream here. And because it wasn't appreciated there, you may kind of be, sorry to call you out like this, you may be a little like automatically defensive with people. I feel like this situation with this person is actually, they feel like somebody that you really want. They feel like someone you'd like to get to know. I feel like people don't really spark your interest. Not the way this person has. Doesn't mean that you haven't been attracted to other people in the past and that sort of thing, but I feel like a genuine connection where you feel like you can really connect with someone on every level. I feel like it's really hard for you to find, and you're looking at it thinking like, the hope and optimism in the situation is bigger than the pessimism, but I feel like part of you is looking at it like, no, it couldn't be. I couldn't have found somebody that's kind of like, I almost want to say that like that can handle everything that you are and everything that you bring. And not, that's not like, oh, cancer's hard to handle. It's more like, if you're somebody that wants a certain standard of living, if you want certain things out of your life and you're willing to work for them, but you want to find the easiest way to get there, I feel like you're looking for that. It feels like there would always be a certain level of competition between the two of you, not in like a crappy way. It's more like, I feel a little bit, like competition in that both of you would try to like prove that the other person's way is the best way, but not in a you have to do it my way, more in a like, like you see things, you see the way that you do things as easier, and so do they. And what's really interesting about it is that I feel like if the two of you, if this takes off, if you will, right? Because whether or not the two of you move forward in the connection that you do have, or you work on developing a new connection with this person, because there's a lot of ace energy here, okay? I feel like there's, it could grow into like almost like a quiet reverence, a quiet but very strong respect for each other. You know what I mean? I feel like if somebody came in and was acting a fool, you guys wouldn't even have to look at each other or like catch each other's eye. You would just know what the other person is thinking. You know what I mean? Like there isn't, it's one of those things where it feels like it would also, if it is a romantic connection, that there would also be like a really valuable friendship that I feel like you might put more value on than them. But hang on, let me explain. It feels like you might protect it a little more vehemently than others. It's almost like the two of you would share the same amount about your relationship, which I feels like would not be very much, but for very different reasons, right? So it's almost like you would do that because it's so precious to you and you want to protect it. And I feel like this person is doing it because they want to protect you. If that makes sense. So I hope that neither of those came across as negative, because that's not at all what I'm feeling from either of you. Um, it just feels like it's almost like the two of you have a secret that neither of you want to share, but you both thoroughly enjoy. So let's get into it. Can we get what's coming up for Cancer? So we have, wow, lots of big energy here. Whoops. We have the Fool and the Hermit. So make sure you can see those. And then for Cancer's person, 2 cards as well. Lots of Pentacles here, you guys. Then we have the 9 of Wands and the Chariot. So I feel like you seem to be coming into, it actually feels like, Cancer, you might be coming out of a place where maybe you were spending a lot of time alone, or at least you were alone in your thoughts, right? It doesn't feel like you were in deep connection with anybody. And that doesn't mean that you weren't talking to people and you didn't have, friends or family to talk to. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but it feels like it's almost like you're coming out of a bit of darkness, but not darkness in that it was bad. It was just feels like it was like quiet. Coming out of, like, it feels like you're coming out of a time of being alone, but you were alone because it's like, I'm not explaining this well, I know that. It was like like you chose to be alone. It's almost like life may have gotten really chaotic, right? Just like everything was coming at you left, right, and center. I feel like you might be somebody, or at least you may have been in the past. It certainly doesn't appear that way anymore. But because you are so soft and squishy on the inside, I know not everybody gets that side of a Cancer if they don't treat you right, but there is such a compassion to you that I feel like sometimes it's almost like you might be on compassion exhaustion, right? And I feel like that may have been what happened. You may have then gone into a bit of isolation to and it's almost like in that isolation, oh sorry, the longer you were in it, the more you enjoyed it, and you seem to have come out with a strength that it's almost like even you're going to surprise yourself with it. And it's like, and that's the energy that's supporting you. It's like you're coming out of that isolation, not because you're needy or you're this or you're lonely. It's more like you feel replenished to come out and play. It's a very playful energy coming off of you. Hold on for a minute. Sorry about that, Cancer. One of my kids got home and the door was locked. So the energy supporting your person, it seems like there's I was originally getting that it seemed like there was something chaotic going on with your person. But I feel like in the same way where you're transitioning into this, like you're ready to, rejoin the world again, I feel like your person is also letting something go that was at one point very cherished, but became nothing but a thorn in their side. It could be, it may not. Okay. Just the energetics of it, please. It could be that this person had a relationship that fell apart. For some of you, it could be that their parents' relationship fell apart. It doesn't feel like your person is the type of person that would take responsibility for it or anything. But it feels like if that was not earth shaking, but if that changed their opinion for a short time, they seem to they think they've recovered. I think it still weighs on their mind. They're just trying to push it out. So while you may be coming out of this, they do seem to be coming out of something, but it feels like I feel like this person doesn't really give themselves the time to like grieve. And what's interesting is that it actually seems like obviously it's working for them, but I feel like it's almost like something bad happens and it's in their world for this amount of time, and then it's like they just sever it. And it's almost like it to them it's completely gone. It feels like that actually seems to be an effective way for them to cope with things. I feel like this is the kind of person, when they walk away from something, when they close the door on something, it'll never open again. They'll never go back. I do feel that whatever has happened in this situation has kind of changed how a certain view on okay, I take that back. I feel like there may have been something that their opinion about something originally changed, and I feel like they've kind of fought through that to get back to where they are, but it still feels like there's something missing. It's almost like they don't want to admit to themselves that whatever this is has affected them in a way that they can't quite come back from. So we're not going to dig too deep into that. They feel like the kind of person that doesn't really want prying into it. So we'll just get one clarifier for this. Okay. Okay. So we have the devil with the 7 of swords that started upright, but eventually went reversed here. I feel like this is something they're not going to talk about. I feel like whereas other things that like they have already kind of worked through, they might talk about, even if they've got some stank on that conversation, you know? But I feel like here, and by stank, I mean like even if they still have attitude about something, if they're able to talk about it, I feel like they've moved past it enough that it's not going to affect them. But I feel like if this was to come up, they would just totally shut down. And it's not like, oh, they just shut down emotionally. I feel like they would actually physically turn away from you and refuse to talk. And I'm getting this energy from you that it's like, well, I can wait all day. And it's not a like, I want to be really clear, Cancer. Please let me explain that. And Crosswatcher. It's not like Cancer's sitting over here like, I can wait all day. You have to tell me everything. It's more like, it's almost like it activates that protective mechanism in you, Cancer. Because this person presents as that King of Pentacles energy that nothing really ever gets to them, when you see that something did, it's almost like you flip into I mean this with, in the best of ways, the scary part of Cancer, that energy that you guys get in when someone that you care about has been hurt. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like a scorpionic sort of energy that I'm feeling off of you. It's like you flip a switch and you're looking at them like, who would dare? Who would dare? And I don't feel like you pry into it. But it feels like that may be when you realize that this person needs you, because I feel like that's when, hold on for a second, when you see that vulnerability in them, even though they're not like expressing what they're upset about or what they're feeling vulnerable about, I feel like because they are expressing a certain vulnerability in not being able to even look, like acknowledge that you're sitting in front of them. If I'm getting this energy of like the two of you might be sitting at a bar and you're having this really intense conversation and you're both kind of leaning forward on the table and very engaged with each other, and then this somehow comes up and it's almost like, and they're sitting back and they're looking around and they want to change, you know what I mean? Like they're still here, they're still with you, but they don't, it's not a box they're ready to open. So, I think we're going to do, we're just going to pull one for what to expect. Anything else? Ace of Wands. That's the second Ace of Wands that has popped up here. So, there's definitely a lot of potential this month for you. It may move kind of slow. I almost said slower than you want it to, but I don't feel like, I feel like it's a good pace for both of you. I feel like the past you, before you went through this transition, might have a hard time with the pacing, but it feels like you've got a lot going on and it's not going to be an issue. I feel like I need to remind you though that the aces are about potential. It's the you know, the seed that's been planted, it still has to be cultivated. So I think I'll leave it there, Cancer. I love you guys. I hope that this reading helped. Sorry, all of a sudden I don't know how to speak. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.